back from Argentina, where we stayed in El Calafate, which is located in Patagonia. Argentina split up into 6 different regions, and Patagonia is the southernmost region of the country.
While we were in Argentina, we visited Los Glaciers National Park. We got to go on a boat tour, we went ice climbing, we also got to meet some of the local Patagonians, and we got to see what their lifestyles were like. We took a ton of pictures while we were down there, so we wanted you guys to check them out.
Los Glaciers is located in southern Argentina, which is in the region of Patagonia. Our flight arrived in Puerto Santa Cruz, and after driving to the little town of El Calafate, we arrived at our hostel, Albergue and Hostel del Glaciar. El Calafate is a small town made up of mostly travel agencies, local boutique shops that sell handmade art from the indigenous Mapuche people, as well as various restaurants.
The next morning, we wanted to take a tour of the glaciers, so we went by boat just off the shore of Los Glaciers. The first one we were able to look at was the Puerto Moreno Glacier. It's the 3rd largest glacier in the world and is as tall as 10 meters high. It was interesting to go from town life and seeing the wild to nothing but pure ice for what seemed to go on for miles. It almost looked like we were in a world where the whole earth had frozen over, like in the Day After Tomorrow movie.
From the boat, you could hear the sounds of the ice cracking, and we saw tons of pieces of ice come crashing down into the water that created these huge waves around it. We were actually able to film Puerto Moreno breaking off into the water. And the ice underneath is a really pretty sky blue, and from what we learned, it appears blue because the glaciers reflect blue light in other colors too.
After seeing the Puerto Moreno, we headed back into town. We were able to see many different animals along the way, such as wild horses, rabbits, and skunks. The land around Los Glaciers is dry, brown, and kind of boring, almost like the winters in Michigan, but without the 5-foot snow.
What surprised us was how windy it was. The winds down there got up to 40 miles an hour. We actually learned from the local Patagonian people that winds can get up to 75 miles an hour during the spring and summer.
Alexa and I wanted to kind of explore the town, so we walked around and noticed that most of the buildings were stained wood and kind of looked like a Colorado ski town. Downtown was mostly shops that had glass trinkets and Argentine jewelry. The rest was a couple of bars as well as pool halls that a lot of teenagers were hanging out at.
After talking with some of the local Patagonians, we learned that El Calafate is a town for accommodating a lot of travelers. There are a lot of adventure-seeking people that stayed there to see the national park, but the main attraction we found was that visitors really like to ice climb. We were able to book an ice climbing guide through one of the travel agencies in town so that we could kind of see what it was like, and we had a ton of fun with our guide. We were also able to take a helicopter ride through the glaciers to get a top view of them as well.
There were a couple of precautions that the park listed. In order to preserve the wildlife there, they made specific zones, such as a scientific purpose only zone, natural resources only, offices and facilities zone, as well as tour zones that have hotels and restaurants, and other roads. Having these zones help keep the park and glaciers stay sustainable for tourism purposes.
We had a ton of fun in Argentina. We really liked the boat tour and the ice climbing.
Seeing the local town was also interesting. Hope you all enjoyed our pictures.
Hasta luego!